playing host to all of you, but I thought all of you should also benefit from the immense, knowledge that Mr. Yogeswaran Gnanavel has. A few words about him. He completed his BTech from Amrita University.
Karthik sir, I think you are stuck.
Oops.
Yes, sir, we can see you now.
Sorry, I think our internet acting up at office. Anyway, sorry, I was introducing our good friend Yogi. All these days, he has been playing host, but today he's taking a session. He started his career at the same alma mater where I started my career at Infosys, and later, has been has been donning various hats and roles. He was head of strategic alliances and partnerships at Entrepreneurs Cafe in Bengaluru. Also was in the counseling domain as a branch manager. Was as a Yatri, has gone as a Yatri, selected out of 15,000 applicants for the Jagrati Seva Sansthan, and he was the chief operating officer of execution and strategy and partnership at the Global Startup Awards for SARC. Was COO of the World Startup Foundation, a board observer at Design Syndrome, a founder of Startup School Online. He was. Oops. Okay. So am I back?
Yes, sir, you are now.
Let me switch internet connection. Sorry. He also was the founder of Startup Search and was an ambassador to the 100 Open Startups India. And also at the Startup Leadership Program is currently the co-program lead and was an ambassador with Rev Genius, and of course, marketing partnerships and account managements at Canva. Most of you are well versed with Canva. One thing that I know Yogi personally also was, he initiated and closed partnerships for Canva for many leading brands. Apart from this, I've also known him in the youth wing of CII, that's called Young Indians. He was. He's been instrumental in many big projects. Is an executive council member for the last 4 years. He has co-chaired the youth network called Yuva for Young Indians and continues to chair it this year. Also, we did a hallmark entrepreneurship week, including various consulates. He was the lead for the sponsorships for the entrepreneurship week with the consulates of France, Switzerland, and many other consulates. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you Mr. Yogeswaran Gnanavel, who all these days was a host, and today very glad to welcome.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks
sir,
for
on behalf of Karthik sir, I welcome you.
No, absolutely, Manoj. I think there is some issue with the video. Perfect. Glad to be here with everyone. Is my video and audio clear?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Perfect. So first and foremost, it's an honor to be with all these young kids. We've been organizing this boot camp for the second time. I thought a lot of you have started working on your ideas, and this is an ideal time to think about marketing and how do you take your marketing going forward for your own ventures as you start progressing towards the boot camp. So today I'm going to talk about primarily about marketing. What are the different things that you should focus in terms of marketing? And if time permits, we will also talk about 1 or 2 case studies of your own ventures and see what would be the ideal, say, growth hacking or ideal marketing channels for yourself. So that is how we will structure this session for today. Before we proceed, just a quick question to all of you who are present here. Could you just, in the chat window, could you just tell us one line about your startup idea? If you can just quickly put that there on the chat window, that would help us curate this session better for you. Just one line. Okay, Aditya says robotic process automation, cool. Others, just if you can just do it quickly, tower farming architecture for farmers, dating app, awesome. Rapid prototyping for diagnostic devices, health and wellness. Interesting, cool. Automation of dumpsters that are present on the roadsides. Wow, so, it sounds like an interesting problem to solve for sure. Cool, we'll just wait for another couple of seconds before others also share, and then we will quickly move into the session for today. Ad tech startup, which gives rewards on watching advertisement. Interesting idea, man. Anurag, glad someone's working on this. Awesome. We've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folks who have mentioned their ideas here. And then now we have 9th. Diagnosis of radiology images using AI and ML. I know with COVID coming along, I think that's a very interesting space to be in. Diagnosis and identifying diseases without intervention of humans. Awesome. Cool. Okay, with that, let's get into the session. Today's session is titled Introduction to Marketing and Growth Hacking. So with the basic understanding that most of your students, I'm going to take it from ground up. So assuming that very little information you have about marketing. So I'll touch upon what is marketing, how do you choose a marketing channel, and what are the different formats do you have to proceed forward in that. Cool. Before I start, one thing, just to clarify, there are 3 different sectors that at all times we confuse. One is branding, second one is marketing, and third one is sales. Okay, I'll try to give you like a visibility of what these 3 actually are and how can you differentiate between each other. All right, perfect. Quickly, first and foremost is branding. Don't worry, I have a presentation. I'll just cover this before I open the presentation up. Branding is primarily any activity that you carry or do to create brand awareness. Positioning. Pranav, I'll try to cover it towards the end, depending on the time, how much time is available. Okay, so primarily as a brand, branding, primarily you need to create awareness in your potential consumers' mind. They should think about your brand at as many instances as possible. That is primarily what is the objective of branding. Now, second one is marketing. Branding has created the positioning in their mind about your product. Second, the marketing has to generate interest in them to come and view your website or install your app or do some sort of an engagement. That is the objective with marketing. And third one is with sales. The objective there is to get them to buy something. So that is a lot of activities may coincide with sales, marketing, and branding. But if you look at it from outcome perspective, branding is just to get some sort of a mind space in your customer. Marketing is to get them to start engaging with your product. and sales is about getting them to buy or pay for the service or product that you're going to offer. That is the quick overview. All right. With that, I'm going to quickly open my, I'm going to quickly share the screen and talk about it. Hope my screen's visible.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So first step to any kind of a presentation is going to be about foundation. In terms of marketing, the foundation is about choosing your market or choosing your customer. Who's your ideal customer? I think Yamuna has also touched upon identifying your ideal customer. So we will try to talk about that, and then talk about how do you create your messaging? What are the keywords that you should look for? How do we define success in terms of a market, and how do we set a budget for it? So one of the things as early startups, I have seen this with many accelerators, incubators, including Y Combinator, which specify to everyone saying that initially in the first 1 year or first 6 months of your startup, try to have zero cost into budget, zero paid acquisition, like running Facebook ads or Google ads. Try to do conventional word of mouth and getting references and all that as a marketing channel. We will touch upon all the options available to you. Cool. First and foremost, choosing a market. I'll just pick up examples from today's session itself. I'll just open the channel here. Okay. So every single product or services or a startup that you're launching, not the whole wide audience, like it won't be like everyone is your customer. Not everyone would want to buy your product. So when you launch, it is very critical for you to choose and select who's your ideal customer. And you will have to be so specific about this customer. That way, your whole marketing, your messaging, how you take photos of your product will also depend on that. Okay. So like, for example, let us just take, okay, there is Anshul's startup, which talks about tower farm architecture for farmers. So his target audience or potential customers are already farmers. That is his target segment, right? And he could be more specific, saying that, hey, I will only work with, or I would initially want to only work with farmers who are cultivating rice or cultivating wheat or whatever it could be. There could be someone specific. Anshul, do you have like a specific portion of farmers that you're targeting? If you have, do message it in the chat window. Okay. What that does is then you can focus just on that particular segment and get them to start buying the product. Okay. That is what they call about identifying a niche market. Cool. No, sir, as a whole. Perfect. So Anshul, can you also say how your product helps farmers in one line? We'll give him some time to type. In the meanwhile, we'll go to the next one. How do you choose a market? And one more thing is, all this information is required potentially when you create a pitch deck and present it to potential investors. Okay, they would want to know what is the market size. Okay, so in this case, he's talking about targeting farmers, right? So you should know, why are you targeting farmers and how many potential farmers are there in the country. That become your size of the market. Then market wealth. So in that case, how much money does your customer have to spend for solving this particular problem that they have? That is the second one, called market wealth. How much of opportunity is there in that market? Third one is market competition. Who are your different competitors? Does this particular problem have hundreds of competitors, or has no one touched this problem yet? So that is market competition sizing. Then value proposition. So when they say value proposition, is not features of your product, but how exactly is your product or service solving a problem for the customer, and why is it different from others? There might be hundreds of other products available. Why is yours much better than the others? That is what you need to cover in value proposition. Cool. Absolutely. See, his value proposition, or he's not talking about his product as this is the feature of a product, but he's saying the value proposition is to reduce suicides due to lack of funds. That could be one proposition that he can target. Okay, moving to the next one. Defining success. When in any marketing activity that you do, you need to keep metrics for you to define, okay, what does success look like for that marketing activity? So for your success, it could, for each and every startup, it could be a different metric that you can look at. Say, for example, it could be just like, say, if it's a dating app, we would just need about 200 signups onto the mobile app. That could be success for me in terms of whatever campaigns I run for the first month. And the second month, once I've hit that goal, I would want to say my success for this month would be, say, 1,000 users, 1,000 new signups on the app. So it could be multiple different things. Depending on what your startup or product is, you will have to define your metrics. Okay. No matter what you do, always ensure you're being consistent with whatever activities that you pick up. Okay. Again, one of the things that most marketers talk about, and most of us also do, is how many Instagram likes did we have? How many Facebook likes did we have? How many people follow us on Instagram and Facebook? In terms of marketing, these are all called vanity metrics because they don't add value to our product or service. Unless you see someone coming and liking, not even liking, commenting on a post or clicking the link that you have posted or watching a complete ad video that you have posted there, all these become, what is it called? Vanity metrics. So focus on the very important metrics for yourself, which for the dating app would be number of signups on the app or number of installs of the app. For farmers would be number of farmers I reached out to, number of farmers bought the product, number of farmers continuing to use the product. Okay, these are some of the things that you can look at. I will pick up a few other startup ideas as and when to discuss. Yeah, the presentation will be made available. Don't worry about it. Cool. And once you have got that in place, one of the things that I've told you initially shouldn't focus on having paid acquisition. But when I'm saying paid acquisition, it's mostly about running Facebook ads, Google ads, and all these ads. But you should also look at setting up a budget, primarily because, say, if you want to do email marketing, it's going to cost you some money to set up the email marketing tool. If you're going to create a video and share that video, there is going to be some amount of money involved in getting the right tools to set it up and run. In case you want to create graphic collaterals, put up a lot of designs on the social media, you might need to pick up tools or softwares, or you might need to hire someone for that. So all of that, make sure you're budgeting it. Okay, cool. The next one comes is identifying the core keywords. Why is this important? Ideally, what happens is, like, for example, in the farmer's case, sorry, I forgot the ideas, 1 second. Towering farmer architecture. Okay. In that case, his core focus is, or core keyword that he's focusing on, is to reduce farmer suicides. So you will have to create a lot of content or videos or articles around this, or do PR outreach around all of this, so that Google starts picking you or your idea or your startup on top for all those keywords. Okay, and for each of it, the reason we say be focused on a specific audience is, you can start saying, for this particular audience, these are the top 5 or 6 keywords that we want to focus. Say, for example, he said, I'll just take an example of dating app, right? So you might say the dating app could be just for people who are above the age of 30, who are working professionals, who are still single. So the messaging for them will be completely different. Say, for example, have you still not found the love of your life could be one sort of a keyword. How to what do I say? How to find love post 30 could be another article that you could talk about or write about. So all these things will start, once you start creating a lot of content around them in terms of blogs, videos, Google will start putting it on top as more people read about it. Cool. Hope that clarifies. As and when you have doubts, please post it so I can pick up these questions at this point of time itself. Okay. So again, there are multiple keywords that you will work with. Again, it depends on the target audience that you're working on. Say if it is 30 plus, or if it's only for college kids, you're having a dating app, the wording and the approach will automatically change. Cool. And the second one, as a marketing person or as a startup owner, one of the things you should be very clear about is knowing your conversion rate. What do I mean by that? Say, for example, you've posted a photo on Instagram along with a link for them to check out your startup. All right. So first and foremost is how many people saw that particular photo. Then how many people liked or commented on the post. And third one is from there, how many of them visited your website. And then from the number of people who visited your website, how many of them signed up or how many of them bought the product. So this becomes an end-to-end funnel for you to check. Okay. I'll move to the next one. One of the most important channels for us is social media. We will talk about different channels available under social media. What are the different places you can promote? Again, depending on your customer, this will change. If your customer is college-going students or school-going kids, then one of the ideal ways for you to reach out to them is Instagram, because they're very active on Instagram, especially if it's a dating app. If it's farmers, they are active on YouTube and Facebook. Depending on the idea that you're working on, depending on where those customers lie, you choose which medium works for you. Okay. Yeah, as I've told you. And if it's like a B2B product that you're selling, one of the best platforms is LinkedIn and Twitter. So choosing the right social media networks makes absolute sense. So talk to your customers. If you know farmers are your customers, talk to at least 10, 15 of them. Identify in a day what are the different platforms, apps, or softwares they use, or it could be WhatsApp, whatever the tools that they use on their personal and professional life. Try to identify all of them. Based on that, you will know, okay, most of them are available at Facebook, most of them are available at YouTube, most of them are available on Twitter. And then you choose, okay, this is what I want to do in Twitter, this is what I want to do in Facebook. Okay, that's how you go about choosing your social media network. This is applicable not just for social media network, but also for your communication with the customers. It could be email, it could be on phone. You can find the right medium to reach out to them. Okay. And one more thing that we have also observed is each platform has a ideal time for you to post. So when you start a Facebook page and you start posting content, and beyond say 30 or 50 people like the page, Facebook starts giving you insights on what is an ideal time for you to post content. Similarly, for Twitter, there are other tools available which give you insights on what is the perfect time for you to post based on the audience that you are interested on. Okay, always look at that. For social media, as we've spoken earlier about keywords, right? One of the tools that I want to talk about is Google. Search for those keywords. Like, for example, if it is dating, start typing in words related to dating. And there is a website called Answer the Public. You type in what is the product or service you're offering or a nearby keyword. What it does is it gives you a list of questions that people are asking around that. Why should, say, for example, I did that earlier for internships. So it should tell, why should we do internship? What is the difference between paid and unpaid internship? What is an internship? All those become different questions and keywords for which you can create content, create posts and all that on social media. Okay. And the same thing can also be utilized for running various ads when you choose to run ads. The next one is one of the things that is popular in social media is influencer marketing. Again, when I'm saying influencer, it is not just getting what is it called, someone like Shah Rukh Khan to post about your startup, but influencers can also be micros like your friends. Some of your friends might have, say, 10,000, 5,000 or 2,000 followers on their social media platforms, right? So getting them to share your startup's content onto their social media network creates a ripple effect by which a lot more people will get to know about you. Okay, so influencer marketing is, don't think of it as like, how do I get Shah Rukh Khan and all these guys? Just think about who in your network, who in your friends circle has a lot of followers and would be happy to promote you on, like would be happy to share your post on their social media pages. Okay, next one is setting up your blog. See, blog currently is one of the most used ways of content marketing, but I wouldn't want to touch deeply on this because I don't think you're at a stage where you would want to invest a lot of time into blogs, because it's going to take a lot of time, right, to create content, get someone to write content. Sometimes we might not be able to write content. So one of the things is, eventually once your idea is ready and you're about to launch, create a blog and start writing content around that. Cool. I'm going to skip the blog part. Okay, and I'm going to jump into something which is more critical for any startup, which is PR. So one of the things that PR can actually create is a huge ripple effect for you in terms of creating brand awareness. So when we say PR is primarily getting coverage in terms of media, blogs, podcasts, other people's newspapers, TV interviews, even Shark Tank acts as a good PR. What it does is there is suddenly a lot of hype created for your startup and your product. Then a lot of people start visiting your website. A lot of people start visiting your videos and social media articles, right? So what happens is it starts giving a good brand perception for you. People get to know your brand. So like, for example, I'll just give you an example. How many of you here have heard of Upgrad? If you have heard of Upgrad, just say yes. Cool. Only one person. Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Cool. So one of the hacks that I did to help my friend launch his startup was, a lot of people know Upgrad. Upgrad has been running a lot of ads. So the word up and grad is automatically linked on people's head. People are already aware of it. So I helped my friend start his own venture called Let's Grad. It is LETSGRAD. So what happened was, as and when they would reach out to people, people say, I've already heard about you. But the startup was launched only last year. Now they are defunct, but that is how it was. We just piggyback on a different startup's PR and their own network, right? So the moment it sounds very close by in terms of a name, people relate, oh yeah, I've heard of you already. I've heard of you guys already. So these are some of the small things that you can look at. Look for a bigger brand and see how you can piggyback on their name, piggyback on their marketing. Someone asked, right, how do you create a brand positioning? So these were some of the small hacks that we did to create brand positioning for them back then. Okay. And again, coming to positioning statements, be very clear on how should the other person perceive your brand. So in terms of the farmers thing, you are primarily having like a social cause of reducing farmer suicides. So you should try to put that a lot of emphasis on that. Okay. So again, as it says, what is your product? What is it that you're offering to the customer? Then how is it going to help them, or how is it going to change their lives? And then why should anyone care about it? As long as you've got these right, it becomes very easy for people to understand. One of the things, I'll just take an example of Nike in this particular scene, and then I want to talk about the campaign that they run called Just Do It. It's a very simple three words campaign, right? Just do it. The way they've tried to position that word all around in their campaigns, right? It kind of creates motivation for people to go out and get things done, or just get out there, wear the shoes, and just get into running. So all these things do play a very massive role in how do you structure your campaigns going forward. Cool. Another one is always, whenever you're doing any sort of a PR campaign, be very clear about what your competitors are doing, and what are the different angles you're missing, what are the features that they have you don't have. Be very clear about it and make sure you position yourself in a best way to succeed. I'm sure during the course of this bootcamp, we will also do a session on storytelling, which will talk about how can you share your startup story, how can you make sure the story is very powerful so people are able to resonate with it. At the end of the day, no matter what strategies you use, you need to be very clear that at the end of the day, it's another person's life that I'm going to affect or improve. Okay. I don't know if you all know, actually, the co-founder of Tinder was kicked out of her own venture. And then she went back and created Bumble, which is another dating app. And then she made it so massive as a second success for ourselves. Does anyone know how did Tinder get a lot of users in the very early days? Does anyone have an idea? Let's see. I would, if anyone shares, we have a surprise. Through College, can you explain what do you mean by Through Colleges? What do you mean by Through Colleges? Okay. So I'll explain that a little more. So what Tinder initially did was, they first and foremost, after talking to a lot of users, they understood that in most of the dating apps, number of women were very less. Okay, so it was easy to get men to download and install the apps, but getting a lot of women to use such kind of apps was a challenge. So Tinder actually, when they launched, they used to pay women money to join the app. And through that, what they also were able to showcase was there are a lot of women profiles available. And then automatically, the men and the guys all automatically started flocking to the platform. That was one. And then on the recent scenario with Bumble, right? One of the things that was an issue with Tinder or any dating app was a lot of women would get a lot of messages. Okay, everyone, the moment you connect, you're able to talk to them and share messages, right? But that was sometimes uncomfortable for the women. So Bumble changed the whole aspect around that. They said women are the only ones who can initiate a conversation. Even if they like your profile, they are the ones who have to initiate a conversation. So the moment they like your profile, you have like 48 hours before which they need to send you a message, or this just gets negated, the match gets negated. So these were some of the ways by which they got to acquire users and also created a brand awareness for themselves. So this is where it talks about sensitivities. What are the different things that you're doing to protect your customers on your platform? Cool. I'll go to the next one. Yeah, absolutely, Pranav. Pranav was mentioned here. I think similar feature is brought in Shaadi.com. Choose who can see your profile. Yeah, you can restrict all of that. Currently, people are more worried about privacy and other things, so that becomes a priority. Identifying the right writers for media list. One of the things, at least in Bangalore and a few other cities, what we have realized is instead of going out to different media and PR companies, you can easily go to press clubs in each of these cities. In Bangalore, we have a press club. In Chennai, we have a press club. You can go there, and most of these newspaper reporters are already there. All you need to do is schedule a time and date where you can do a press conference or a press release. Most of them are there, and if they like you, they will automatically pick up your idea and then write about it on their papers. So do look at all these easier ways to do it. If you go to a PR agency, they will charge you anywhere between 25,000 to a lakh and a half. In the press club, it's going to cost you, I think, about 2,000 rupees to organize a press conference. Cool. Again, press kit is not something that you should worry about at this point of time. But press kit, just for awareness, you should know. Press kit is primarily like a long article that you provide the media folks, from which they can pick and use content based on their requirement. So you give them like a long article about your product, your features. They will pick and choose how they want to publish it. It will have your logos, your photos of founders, what is the product that you're having. If it's an app, screenshots of the app, all of that. Okay, all this I'll move forward. I've given you like an overview of it. The last one is content creation, which is the most critical part, which is really, really important for all of you. Since I'm also going to push you to have a zero cost marketing where you're not paying to acquire users. Okay. So content creation could be in terms of Instagram, Facebook, any social media. It could be blogs. How do you create content? How do you get people to engage with your content? That's going to be the thing that we will talk about. Okay, so there is a website called Answer the Public for whatever topic or whatever problem you're trying to solve. Go there, put in that topic. It will give you thousands and hundreds of questions. Start picking those questions to create content around that. Okay, so easily you will find 100 questions. 1 second, probably I should actually show this to you so it becomes easier for you guys. Just give me 1 second. Rather than having a theoretical, we will do a 1 second. Where is this? Yeah. It's a free tool. I'm gonna say give it a few seconds. Okay, it talks about what are the different questions that's there. Why dating is important, why dating apps, why dating is haram, why dating apps are a waste of time, why dating is hard in India. You can create content around all of these questions. Look at this. Can dating lead to marriage? Dating to girlfriend, dating to kill. So you will know what people are searching for. That is what I was trying to compare, right? Dating versus relationship, dating versus marriage, dating versus friendship. A lot of topics you will get for you to create content around that. Okay. Then another one is, yeah, I'm just giving you the idea of the tool. You can figure this out for sure for each of the startups. Okay. Quickly going back to my thing. So you identify these topics and then plan, okay, in a month, these many content I'm going to create. It could be any format. It could be like an Instagram reel, Instagram carousel, Instagram post, or like a Facebook post, or like a YouTube video, whatever you choose to do. Okay. There are different ways of doing it, doing different types of content. It could be ebooks, as they mentioned, all these social media things. It could be webinars. You can have interviews. You can do like one of the ways that you can also try to get your product to be sold is, especially for farmers and dating, you can do like a dating boot camp, or like a farmer boot camp that you can do, partnering with others. So guest blogging, all of these are different platforms or different formats of content that you can publish, right? Webinars and videos, just what we are doing now. Identify what is a topic that you want to talk about on the webinars. Create content, use Google Meet, use any free platforms. You can also use YouTube Live to do your webinars. Okay, ebooks and guides. One of the things that we've realized is, if you're a B2B startup, ebooks and guide seem to actually provide a lot more value or a lot more conversions compared to other formats. The reason is people are always reading for new content. So if you're doing something with diagnostic labs or anything with diagnostic labs and wanting to work with them, I think we should look at launching ebooks and guides for them. How to use AI and ML in diagnostics. How can you get, what is it called? Digital radiologist. You can even call it that, and then try to structure your guide around that. Cool. One of the things that we have seen consistent engagement is for newsletters. But the thing is, with newsletters, what happens is people have stopped using emails a lot often now. People want shorter content, crisp content. So newsletters have actually gone down. especially in the B2C space, but still in B2B space, newsletters do play a role. Okay, so try to see if you can create like a monthly newsletter for like monthly dating tips or monthly dating success stories, or you can have different issues of farmers being collated. What are the different ways they can improve their farm's potential in terms of the revenue that they can generate, in terms of policies? You can curate all of that and share it. One more thing is, when you're creating these newsletters, right? What I've noticed recently is some of the startups have started doing WhatsApp newsletters. So you just create like a broadcast group and send it to all of them. That is something that you can look at too. Cool. Coming to the most critical part, videos. In the current times, videos and audios are getting a lot more visibility on both Google and other platforms. So whatever you want to say, whatever you want to do, create a lot of videos, push it. It's okay if you're scared. All you need to do is just put a slide presentation on Zoom itself. You can record and share it. You don't have to be there if you're scared of being scared of showing your face on these platforms. Okay, I've told you, right? Videos equal to more customers. Videos convert a lot better. So one of the things, a lot of startups have started doing video marketing, and videos booming extensively. So at this stage, I will also tell you to start doing audio parallelly. You can look at podcasts, or you can look at audio tidbits and other things that you can look at. Okay, guest blogging. So primarily what happens is, as a guest blogger, there is already an existing platform like Your Story. They write about you, or you write on your story about your startup, and then it helps you get a lot of visibility from their website. That becomes guest blogging. Okay. One of the things is, most of us forget to do it. We might have a website, but we never know who is coming to our website. So what we typically tell you is, if anyone's coming to your website, figure out a way to get them to give you their email ID. So most of these edtech startups do this. They give you like a how to write resume guide, how to crack a job, data science jobs, top 10 data science jobs, top digital marketing tools, or they tell you free 30-day digital marketing course, sign up on this, give us your email. So all these are some of the strategies that you can look at. Cool. And whatever campaigns that you choose to do, make sure you're constantly testing things. You run something, you do a video, see what worked in the video, what didn't work. Most of them give you analytics, and then you start working backwards from there. Cool. That's pretty much what I wanted to cover. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'll be happy to answer your questions at this point of time. Hope the session was useful. I've tried to, there is a lot to be done in marketing. I've tried to condense as much as possible to you in this short session. You can always reach out to me for specific inputs on any of your thoughts or any of your ideas. But for now, I don't see any questions. If you have any questions, please let me know. Okay. Pranav is asking, sir, what resources can be utilized to find market size in numbers? So Pranav, if your idea is about farmers, so one thing is, if you can Google search number of farmers in India, that is easier. You will get some number. And the second one is number of farmer suicides in India. These two numbers become very critical for you to identify the market sizing. Any other questions?
Okay, friends, if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A.
Okay. How to find people looking for furnished office space? Okay, I'll give you like a quick idea, man. One of the things that what we have realized is, right, people usually look for furnished office space once they are looking to register a company. That is when they look for office space. So ideally what you should do is tie up with a chartered accountant or someone, because what happens is most of these guys go to a CA or a CS. What is that called as? to get their company registered, right? So partner with CA and CS and tell them that, hey, as in when you have someone wanting to register their office, you can redirect them to us. We have a furnished office space available. We would be able to give them like a good deal. That is one way of doing it. Second one is, most of the people searching for furnished office spaces do it on Google or on commercial office space searching websites like OLX. All these online websites is where they search. So you should look at that. Cool. I hope I've answered that question. If you have a follow-up question, please ask. Next question is, how can we improve our marketing channel? If you can specify, that would be great. But normally when you say, how can I improve our marketing channel, is first and foremost, be clear that your what is it called? Customers are still very active in that particular marketing channel. If they are, then you start tracking every single activity that you do on that channel. Say if you're, for example, if you're doing YouTube videos or Facebook videos, right? For every video, see what is the kind of conversions you're getting, what is the kind of engagement you're getting, and then based on that, you can tweak your videos. And the second one, or the easiest one, is ask them the question, what kind of content would you want me to create? What is your actual problem? Talk to as many customers as possible. They will give you the best insights. Okay. And by the way, when you talk to your customers, don't go with your solution in mind. Forget about your startup, forget about your product, forget about your services. Just go talk to them to understand what are the problems they have, what are the difficulties they find, what are the existing solutions that they've used, and what challenges have they found in that. Once you have clarity on that, rest of the things will fall in place. Okay. Neeraj, I didn't understand the question, how to play the brand card effectively. If you can like ask the question in a better way, I'll be able to answer. Is it necessary to market the product if the user is government? Arun, one of the things that I've seen is, even if it's the government, right? The people who make decisions are still using social media or still searching on Google to find products and services for themselves. So do market your products and services, because at the end of the day, yeah, this is something I forgot to share. No matter what your product or services is, it's always a person who's buying it. It is not the government who's buying it. It's a person who's making a decision to buy it. So you will have to ensure that he understands what your product and services is. So for that, marketing becomes very essential, very critical. Hope that clarifies the question, Arun. Okay. How can an ad tech startup be calculate its market size? Anurag, can you be more clear about what your ad tech startup is all about, right? So for you, the customers, say if you're saying you're going to pay people for watching an ad, right? So like in what format are they going to watch the ad? Where are they watching it? Why will they even watch your ad? So if you ask me, I will probably say, look at YouTube as one of your competitors and try to create like a monetization around that. Say this is number of users of YouTube in India and how many videos do they watch in an average. That becomes your market sizing. Hope I'm able to help. Hope that was helpful, man. If you have any questions, do let me know. When to use social media platforms in terms of gender? Again, Pranav, what's happening currently is there are a lot of new social media softwares and tools coming up regularly. Like for example, recently Clubhouse came. Then there were other platforms like the moment TikTok got banned in India, there was something like Moj, Chingari, a lot of these platforms came. So you will have to talk to your customers to understand what kind of platforms are they active on. Once you understand that, then you will have a better clarity of what kind of content and what kind of a strategy you should use for each of these platforms. So for this, the only way to do is talk to customers, as many as possible. Okay. One more thing is, make sure one of the things is there is a strategy called content repurposing. The guy there is a big article about it by Gary Vee. Check out on Google called Gary Vee content model. So that guy he creates one video. From there, he creates about 27 different types of content just from that one video. So he cuts it down into smaller pieces and puts it up on, say he does a YouTube video, full length video, then cuts that video into smaller posts and puts it on Instagram, Reels, on different Facebook and all the other platforms also. So check out his content model. That will give you a lot of ideas on that. Okay, Aditya is asking, what is the best way to assure a successful new product launch? Aditya, this is a vague question, man. See, success actually defines in terms of what metrics you want to accomplish. You define your success, and based on your success metrics, you'll have to put a plan. Okay, this is my success metrics. Can you also tell me what startup you're working on? If you can tell, we'll try to pick that up now. Okay. Thomas, one of the things that I've noticed right now for your question, are people more likely to go for temporary fix to a problem or a permanent solution, right? So at least as of today, what I have seen, people are looking for temporary fixes. And if it is a temporary fix, they want something quick. Okay. That is when they're going for a temporary fix. Otherwise, they would want a permanent solution. Okay. See, celebrities can be used. Again, it depends on what kind of a product or service are you looking at. If it is a B2C or a D2C, direct to consumer or business to consumer kind of a proposition, then it becomes easier to use celebrities. There are a lot of these new startups who have come, who help you get celebrities to create videos for you and all that. So then what happens is you just pay them 10,000, 15,000. They give you like a 30 seconds or like a 1 minute video with a celebrity, and then you can use it for social media marketing. Hey, thanks, man. Anytime, dude. Okay, Anurag is saying we give. Suraj, I didn't understand your question. Whose name? Gary Vee. His name is, one second, Gary Vee content model. Okay. Okay. So Anurag, so identify who is the first set of customers that you want to work with. Ideally, I would say one of the easiest people to start coming onto your platform would be students, because they want to earn money, right? A second one could be housewives. So for both of them, you will have to figure out, okay, if I'm going to do something with students, how many students do I want to approach? And then based on that, you can put metrics and plan. You can just say earn money by watching ads to college students, or create like a campus ambassador program. Get some 10 people from 10 colleges to promote this in their college. Then it becomes much more easier for you to do that way. Hope I've been able to communicate my thoughts on that one. Okay. How to proceed with branding and marketing when your customers need more awareness about it as a concept. Okay, Pranav, one of the things is with your farmers thing, farmers actually watch a lot of YouTube videos on WhatsApp. So create short videos and send it to them on WhatsApp. That actually works. And that is the easiest way for you to educate them about it. Is it possible to work on a market that is affected during the pandemic times? Nixon, one of the things that we have seen is whatever has happened on the pandemic is a temporary thing. The moment everyone is vaccinated, things should go back to normal. The only challenge is what is normal and when are you going to get back to normal? So really not sure about that, man. So, but one of the things I've noticed is it's always good to use this time to prepare your market or your customers for the day for them to launch. Say, for example, a lot of travel companies gave huge discounts for people to book hotels, rooms, and travel after October. And they gave them 50% off, 60% off on hotel booking and all that, right? So a lot of people booked, and the moment the lockdown restriction lifted, they all ran from their houses. So you can figure this out for sure. follow up to the brand question. You refer to startup Let's Grad attaching the identity to Upgrad, but it will not help with effective brand recognition. How can one create effective brand? Neeraj, one thing that I remember from most of my teachers and other marketers also, no publicity is a bad publicity. See, what typically happens is in the space that my friend was looking to work on, right? So the amount of money that each of the edtech companies were pumping in was huge. So at one point of time, for us to acquire one customer through Facebook ads or anything was close to 300 to 400 rupees, which is too big a number. So we had to figure out a strategy. Okay, someone else is spending their money. How can we leverage that? That is how we created that brand play to do that. If you want to create a brand play away from everything, then come up with something. One is, there is a TEDx video which talks about how to create a brand name. I forgot the video. I'll just see if I'm able to find it. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group so it becomes easier for you. Okay, he talks about how different brand names are created. How can you create a brand name for yourself? So I'll share that. So one of the things is, if you're able to find the right name, that clicks, man. But the challenge has been to find the domain name for it. That becomes the next challenge. So a lot of different things play up there. So for us, we tried a lot of words and then we couldn't find the domain name. Suddenly we found Let's Grad, and then we found a .com, and then we helped him pick it up. Okay. Can you please highlight the philosophy behind startup? I didn't understand the question. Can you please help me? Can you please ask your question again? I'm really sorry, I'm not able to pronounce your name. It is Zeluosi. Sorry, man, I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. If you have like 1 second, let me see if I'm able to unmute you and you can ask your question. Hey, I've allowed you to speak. If you want, you can just unmute yourself and you can ask your question. I have no idea how to pronounce.
Okay.
Sorry, I just don't want to do a mistake on your names, man. Names are very... Okay, I'll try if you've not... Okay, please tell me the meaning of a startup. Okay. A simple, man. A startup is something which is solving someone's problem for a profit. That's primarily what a startup should do. Yeah. A startup is any venture that is solving other people's problems for profit. Simplest definition that you can use. Cool. I think that's all the questions are then. Thanks a lot, everyone, for your time. It was really great chatting with you. If you have any follow-up questions, please send it to us. So I will also share that link to the deck and also the link to Gary Vee's content model. If I'm able to find, I'll share it with you so that you can use that too.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Yogesh for that insightful session. And yeah, so I think anyone else has any questions, you can also mail us and be there. So I think our next session would be on the 8th, right?
Correct.
And we'll come back to you. Please don't miss the next session. We have an exemplary speaker, and we will come back to you with more details shortly.
Thank you, everyone. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.